Hi Ma, welcome back for today's session. So in the last classes, we started a new topic called as reconstruction, documentation reconstruction. So what is the need of this documentation reconstruction Ma? Whenever we lost some documentation or whenever the architecture is not available with us now, okay, we lost some modifications we needed. The existing documentation is not compatible with the previous one. In that cases, we have to reconstruct our documentation. So further, we have 4 steps, right? So we discussed about 4 steps also in the last class. So which are information extraction, database construction, view fusion, and finally reconstruction step. Okay. So for today, we are going to start the first step called as information extraction. Okay. So basically, for any software or any application, what it requires is a set of code. Okay, that code is nothing but a collection of modules, I can say. Okay, each modules have some variables, functions to perform our output, and there is an interaction between one function to function or module to module to share the data, to request the data. Right or wrong? So here, if you want to make the documentation or reconstruct the documentation, we have to identify the importance of those modules along with the variables of those modules. We have to identify the variables and the importance of those modules, right? So without identifying that variable's importance, how can you say that what's the main functionality of the module? How can you say that what's the main functionality of your application or software, right? So in that scenario, we have to start what is the existing design. Okay, we have to verify what is the existing design and what is the implementation artifacts. Artifacts means the framing facts, how they have been implemented, what steps they have taken, what modules they have taken, what variables they have declared, what type of variable they have declared, what type of input they have been given. So all these questions will come into the scene for this implementation artifacts. Okay, so they have to check the first existing design. The result, after verifying these artifacts, what is the result? It is nothing but some information we are going to extract. That information is going to place in the database. Okay, after placing this information into the database, we have to collect all this information from different modules and we have to place at one place only. We have to place at one place only, called as a view fusion. Finally, whenever the data has been collected is proper or correct and it is very useful to us to prepare a documentation, yeah, we can reconstruct your documentation. Right, ma? So that is happening now. So from where we have to start? From where we have to start is the source artifacts. The facts which are going to be beginner from the beginning, like what is the code you have, what are the header files they have been declared, and what any files, whatever we have. So by using these files, you have to trace out. You have to find the execution or communication or dependency or interaction or interface. So what they have between one module to another, we have to think about that, okay? And capture the elements of interest within the system. What are the elements which I said previously? Any element, any code or any application, nothing but files or functions or variables only. And the relationships, right? So we have to verify that one. Next one, see here. So this is the simple tabular form to give some knowledge about what we want to collect information, by which we can reconstruct a documentation. So if you want to use the file, if you want to collect some files, subcoded files, okay, like include file, header files, like contains files, some of the function contains, some variables files, okay. So all this information, by this information we can identify the main methodology they have taken. We may collect the directory also, the element, okay. Directory contains set of subfolders. Again, yes, the directory contains, a directory can be, directory contains again file. The function, what is the main theme of the function? The function will call to another function, the function is going to be accessed by any other function, or the function will read the value of a variable or write the value of a variable, right? So these are the things. So whenever there is no directory at all, we don't need to think about the directory concept and we can make a move to any other concept, right? Next, to extract information, a variety of tools are used, including this. So in order to get knowledge what is being happened till now, we have to use some tools. So those tools can be parsers, abstract syntax trees, lexical analyzers, profilers, code instrumentation tools, and finally ad hoc tools. Okay, so what is a parser? So it will trace the code from first to last, what it contains. Abstract syntax tree, what is the dependency of the variables? Okay, so one variable is calling another. Which variable we have to give highest priority? Lexical analysis, any variable importance or data type, what is the outcome of this data type, what is going to do in your program, that is a tokens. Profilers means the overview of any module. Okay, next code instrumentation tools, if you want to verify the code execution, one module execution instead of a one variable, we can use the code instrumentation tools. Or if you want to use any ad hoc, what is ad hoc means? Runtime environment. See, whenever there is a execution, we have two types of execution. One is a static execution, one is a dynamic execution. What is static execution? Static is the value is fixed throughout your program. There is no modification in your code. But whenever there is a need of changes in your code based upon the input given by the user at the time of the execution, okay, they have to be executed. That is called as a runtime execution, right? In that cases also we have to verify. Yes, parsers analyze the code and generate internal representation from it. It analyzes the total code and gives internal representation. Lexical analyzer examines source artifacts purely or strings of lexical elements or tokens they will do. Profiling and code coverage analysis tools can be used to output information about the code. Total code, the profile, which is said previously by me. Okay, profile it will verify, and if there is any changes, or if you need any changes, or if you want to add new code to it, it will tell that yeah, you have to add new code. Next one, last one is the code instrumentation. Code instrumentation means in the field of testing they are going to use. So what is the outcome of this function? How it can be beneficial to us, that output have to give any input to any other. So like this we have to think for code instrumentation. Next is if you want to use any other tools to analyze the design models also, or if you want to build files or make files or executables, you can assist that, you can take that. Okay, so for instance, for example, the author is saying that build files and make files. Build files and make files include information on module or file dependencies. So this one we need, there is a need of building a files or to create own files to get output, because we lost our data, right? Lost our data. In that case, there is a surely we have to depend on module or file only, right? So such architecture related information may be extracted statically from source code. Source code is only one. If you have source code with you, automatically if you can able to trace that code, everything will come to the same. What is the input they have taken, what is the variables they have been declared, what is the main methodology have been used, which database they have taken. Okay, so what is the main functionality, all those will come into the same. Okay, along with the compile time artifacts, that is efficiency verification, and finally design artifacts. So architecturally relevant information, however, may not exist in the source artifacts because of late binding. So late binding is when at the time of execution you are going to give input. At that case, it is called as a late binding. We may not get that information in prior month, because we can test that after execution only, right? So examples of late binding include the following. What are those? Polymorphism, maintaining the same functions for different type of data. Function pointers, that is giving addresses, that is moving from one function to another with the same location. Right. So after moving that location only, after changing that value only, after executing only, we may get the value. Until that we don't know, right? Runtime parameterization. So some values is going to be at the time of execution only. At that case, we may not be able to know. Okay. So for that, what are the guidelines the author want to suggest to you are: use a least effort extraction. Don't go in depth. First of all, try to extract the high level data. Just user interface data only. So what is happening when you are going to execute a code? Verify that. Validate the information, whether it is useful to us or not, whether it is giving perfect output or not. We have to validate that. Next one, extract dynamic information when required. So whenever there is a information extraction which can be useful to us, yes, we can do that. Okay, so these are the things we can do at the time of what is our first phase? Information extraction. We are not going to do anything here. We are going to analyze the modules, files, header files, directories by using parsers, profilers, code implementers and code generators. All these things we are going to use and verify what is happening. That's it on the background. Okay, next one. After extracting information, first we have to preserve that information, right? Without preserving that information, what is the use? How can you link up that information? So for that, we have to maintain some databases. All of you know what is a database. Database is nothing but the collection of information. What is information, ma? Collection of data. What is the data? It's a collection of raw facts. The collection of raw fact. Yes, if it is worthy, if it is useful to your application, then it is called as a fact. So those facts are going to collected. If it is called, and it is called as a data. Those data is going to be arranging in a systematic, syntactic, semantic manner. If that is the case, it is called as information. Okay, all this information is going to place at one place for your own application is called as a database. So database is not an easy process, ma. If you are able to get perfect database, then you are ready to get your data. Okay. Now, so the extracted information is converted into standard format for storage. The standard format here, the author didn't mention anything. Mostly previous days, as per the textbook knowledge, what they're saying is we can use relational databases. We have different type of databases, right? Time series databases, temporal databases, hierarchical databases, World Wide Web databases. But up to now, just we have to maintaining only relational databases, standard format for storage, okay, after information extraction. It is necessary to choose a database model, of course. So when doing so, consider the following. If you are going to maintaining or if you want to create a database, what things you have to consider for better management of your database or better creation of your database. So those can be, it should be well-known model to make replacing one database implementation with another. Okay, so if you want to change anything, that should be portable. Okay, if you want to change anything, if it is not allowing us to change, what is the use, ma? Your data totally wasted. Okay, so you should select a database which is flexible to us so that it can be replaced. Okay, it should allow us for efficient queries. Yes, the database, for example, if you are able to construct your database in terms of network method connectivity, so can you able to write the queries? No, we can't perform. Structured query language is the one which is going to be helpful to extract information in relational databases only by using tuples or attributes. Tuples and attributes, right? Okay, so if you want to extract information by using SQL, we have to use a table format only. The table format called as a relational databases. Okay, if that is the case, because we have to search for the tool along with representation also. If there is no representation and if you are searching for the tool, what is the use, ma? That should be compatible for the database and the tool, right? So for that, so it should support remote access of the databases. So this database can able to cooperate with any other databases also, which is somewhat far from this. Okay. It supports view fusion, that is, it should combine. It supports for example, in data warehouse, it is going to support multiple applications to combine. But in relational databases, we may not able to combine different type of applications. For example, I am the faculty or the student, can able to combine these two profiles in one database? No, not at all. So what they are saying, you have to collect that. You have to collect or select some database which can be helpful to combine all these at one place, so that extraction is going to be better and our data is going to be executing perfectly. It should support query languages. It should support query languages that can express architectural patterns. Means it can able to extract our information based upon the query we are going to give. Okay, ma? So and we have to find out a checkpointing also. What is checkpoint, ma? See, for example, some data has been lost. Okay, if you want to get back, like reconstruction, If there is no checkpoint at all, how can you know that it has been worked till now? If a laptop is there, you lost some data, there is a option here. By setting some time and date, we can go back and reconstruct our execution system. We can model that. Further, the total configuration in which our settings have been set before that date, or we may get that from that date. Okay, so that is advantage. So like this also we have to checking checkpoints only. So this is important in an interactive process, is that it gives the user the freedom to explore with the comfort. Yes, we have to give the freedom to the user so that he can change, he can modify, he can explore any other data, or you want to change anything. Right, ma? So how to after extracting of information, how to convert that? How to convert the conversion of the extracted information to SQL format? See, we will see. So the author has been preferring to take a workbench called as a DALI workbench. DALI workbench, for example, uses a relational database model. It converts extracted views, whatever views you have been given, module view, character and component view, or allocation view in the previous phase, that is information extraction phase, that can be useful to that can be converted into one format called as a rigid standard format. What is that format, ma? Into rigid standard format. Okay, after that they are going to use the Perl script. This format is then read by in a Perl script and output in a format that includes the necessary SQL code. Okay, so based upon the SQL query, they are going to be taking some data from the information extracted by you, and it is going to be placed in rigid standard format, okay, which is going to be read by Perl script, and that data is going to be storing in relational tables. So it is not a single step to extract information and placing in the database. So we have 3 steps here. Okay, we will see. So the below figure gives the outline of this process. See. So we have to extract view, whatever data you want to extract or information. Later we have to format in rigid standard form. Later that should convert into SQL code, that is in the relational database format to support SQL queries. So example of SQL code generated in DALI. Okay, see here. Create table calls. So what calls they have been given or taken. So call it text, call it text. Okay, that is the names. That is names of the caller and the caller. Create table access. They want to access some values based upon the function and the variables. They want to define some variables. Those variables can be file variables or normal variables. Okay, they want to insert some values into the some functions like main block or control or clock. Okay, some functions in the main block. If that is the case, we have to define like this. So after defining this, so that this is a SQL format now. With the SQL format only, we have to place into the create table creation. Hope you know all this, because in the second year or third year you may get the DBMS, right? So which helpful to create tables, to extract information from the tables using the SQL. Okay, so those are available in that. Right? So for this I am going to stop here. I will prepare the next concepts in next video. Okay, so till then, have a nice day. Bye.